Oh. Oh, what a long evening. Oh, perfectly timed.
No, Jason, it's quite true.
What is? No, we're not going on about that rubbish. Told you, that hypnotist had stooges planted in the audience.
That was the contest at Johann de la Carte.
Exactly.
I've spent 5 years developing my powers.
You developed beautifully.
Don't be cold. I'm an expert.
Boasting? At what?
Thought transference, prophecy, astral projection, hypnotic mental domination.
I hope that's the longest sentence I shall ever hear you utter.
Jason, as far as you're concerned, I'm good for only one thing.
It remains to be seen. I think that gala performance has gone to your beautiful little head. Better drink this.
You get me a little drunk, is that it?
Darling, I took you to the gala performance tonight, to dinner at Maxime's, because...
Because you wanted a night out to celebrate the finishing of your very first film script.
Exactly.
Which only you could arrange to coincide with a royal occasion.
Well, let's continue celebrating royally, and not vulgarly. Hmm?
Congratulations.
That's better. Thank you.
But you will let me try.
What?
To hypnotize you.
Oscar Wilde.
Why not?
Well, it's so negative. I'm under your spell as it is. I want progress. Now, if I were to hypnotize you, we might get somewhere.
You're afraid.
Afraid?
Then let me try.
I bet you 1,000 francs you can't do it.
Done.
1,000?
Cash.
All right. What do you want me to do?
Sit.
That's a good beginning.
And now, completely relax.
I am, to the brink of boredom.
Let your mind go completely blank.
After this conversation, that won't be difficult. Oh, that's nice.
Are your eyes closed?
Ad infinitum.
Don't talk. Your nerve electricity is turning off, Jason. Your sensation recording center is becoming quiet. Your nervous coordination center is now completely under my control. You are now telepathically disciplined to my will. You are now in a hypnotic trance, Jason dear. Open your eyes.
Owe me 1,000 francs.
Where is it, Jason?
In a perfect world, first on the right.
Where is it?
Oh, that. Center drawer of my desk. Amateurs shouldn't play around with hypnotism. It's very dangerous. Would you like some more champagne?
Is this it?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
The only one?
You know perfectly well it is.
Here. Jason, dear, you will forget everything that happened tonight. Understand?
This isn't exactly how I intended to spend the evening.
You will forget the gala, the dinner, and that you gave me this.
You are persistent. I'll say that for you. I thought that show would never end. You seem to be making it into a series.
Then go to bed.
I will.
And sleep well.
Yes, I will. Oh. Good night, Mummy.
Like candy from a baby. And Elaine, you look marvelous.
Thank you, dear.
And that coat.
Fun, isn't it?
Where did you get it?
The head of the Hermitage Museum had it made to order for me in Siberia. But tell me your news, darling.
Well, when you told me that for our next caper we needed the services of a man, I thought at once of someone I met at a party a short time ago.
What's he like?
Oh, he's a typical male chauvinist, arrogant, vain, and pompous. But more to the point, ideal.
I can't wait to meet him.
I'm surprised you haven't, darling. His name is Jason King.
Jason King. And he won't remember anything?
Not a thing. Until I want him to. Now, tell me about the job.
Well, I first got a whisper of it last winter. I immediately put the British Museum under surveillance using the RD Group in London. 2 weeks ago, they decided to acquire the Constance Missile.
Constance who?
Constance, dear. It's a city in Germany on the Swiss border.
Oh. A missile?
Not Isle, dear. Al. Missile.
Oh.
A missile, for your information, is a book. It contains everything that is said or sung at Mass during the entire year. This particular one was printed for the Catholic Diocese of Constance in the year 1450.
1450?
7 years before Gutenberg turned out the first printed Bible.
So, it's over 520 years old.
That's what makes it so valuable.
The British Museum are buying it?
For £50,000.
The Board of Trustees have approved the price.
Rather a lot, don't you think?
Not for what we're getting.
If you say so.
I do say so, Mr. Howard, most emphatically.
Well, that's it then.
Quite. I telephoned Lord Barnes this morning. He's expecting you in Montreux on the 23rd. Cable him as soon as you make your travel arrangements.
Very well, Mr. Collingwood.
And Lord Barnes very graciously has invited you to stay overnight.
Well, that won't be necessary.
Mr. Howard, he invited you.
All right, I shall accept.
He'll have the missile in a padded attache case, carefully wrapped. Oh, take a cuff chain.
Of course.
And immediately you leave Lord Barnes on the morning of the 24th, take the case to the Montreux office of Swiss Air.
Very well, Mr. Collingwood.
Mm-hmm. The Constance Missile, Howard. Think of it. Just think of it.
Yes.
A fitting acquisition to mark your retirement.
Very.
You don't sound very cheerful. Aren't you looking forward to retirement?
What, on £800 a year?
No. It's not very much, is it?
No.
Well, as a little farewell gesture, travel to Montreux first class.
Well, that is very generous of you, Mr. Collingwood.
Not at all, Howard.
I have his travel arrangements on another tape.
Just who is Lord Barnes?
Oh, he lives in Switzerland. He's very rich and very eccentric.
If he's rich, why haven't I heard of him?
Nobody has, darling. I have a picture somewhere. He lives in a very swanky villa just outside Montreux.
Charles Howard. What's he like?
Not at all like Jason King, which is the problem.
Why, have Barnes and Howard met?
No, but Jason can't turn up there looking like Jason. He's supposed to be a curator.
All right, so King can impersonate Howard.
Oh, I don't think we need to go that far. All we need to do is to turn him from a common peacock into an exotic bird of paradise. That should be sufficient.
If you say so, darling.
What about disposal of the missile?
My big bibliophile in Houston.
Ah, yes, the Texas cookie.
He'll really go for it to the tune of at least $250,000. When do we take this Charles Howard?
Before he gets the missile.
Before? Why?
Waiting until he leaves Lord Barnes is too risky.
Which, I suppose, is why we want poor old Jason King.
Yes. What is your hold over him?
This. The only existing copy of his very own film script of his Mark Cain book.
All of it?
Mm-hmm. Page 208. The end.
The camera pans off the decaying old church onto Caroline as she follows Mark Cain out of the vestry into the calm Paris evening. We must feel from now on that she will forevermore discard every moral principle, despise virtue, avoid motherhood, and ignore religion. Does he sell this stuff? I hope the book's better than the film.
It will be a box office dream.
But not this one.
Poor, absolutely authentic cookie. The British Museum are desperate for it. Oh, don't haggle, Cookie. $250,000, you can afford it. All those oil wells pumping and pumping. Sure, I'll hold the line. Texas has fallen. Is this it? All of it? The only one?
Why?
Jason, dear, the only copy of the Mark Kane script is now in my safety deposit box.
You stole it.
Elaine and I are criminals.
Thieves?
We're professionals. We arrange one highly profitable and foolproof caper each year.
Last year it was the Etheridge necklace.
Worth 200,000.
And the year before that, the Raphael miniatures.
From the Vatican Museum.
But my script isn't a museum piece. Yet. How did you do it?
She hypnotized you.
Oh, don't be absurd.
Darling, it took you 12 weeks of hard
14.
slogging to write it. So if you ever want to see it again, you'll do exactly as we tell you.
To the letter.
Because if you don't...
We burn it. And you can't afford that.
No, Jason, darling, you can't. We've assessed your financial position. You've a stack of unpaid bills.
Not to mention back income tax in England, Australia, and America.
I knew I shouldn't have worn this tie this morning. You're both quite dotty.
It's not in, Jason, to take women seriously.
No, I shall just have to assert my rights.
And go to the police.
Isn't what I have in mind.
Oh, do! I'll drive you. They won't believe you.
You haven't a shred of proof.
You look a complete fool.
An absolute twit.
And we'll burn your script like that.
You both become quite resistible.
Irresistible or not.
Police or no police.
You'll do as we say.
Well, Jason?
The atmosphere in here is claustrophobic.
Well done, darling.
Thank you, dear.
Oh.
Elaine's a karate expert.
Judo, too.
Terribly good at it.
And Jason, I can be absolutely lethal if you make me cross. I could break your arm with one blow.
Oh, darling, please.
Yes, please. I mean, there's no need to go that far. I'm sure we can talk things over. There is never any need for violence. Suppose, just suppose, for my own amusement, of course, I were to join in your gift-wrapped capers. What exactly would you want me to do?
Well, for a start, to wear this.
We'll tell you exactly what to do.
For the moment, just be in Geneva on the 23rd.
Next Monday.
Conavin Railway Station, Platform 2.
With a first-class ticket, Geneva to Montreux.
You'll be replacing a man from the British Museum called Howard. He walks rather like a crane with hiccups.
Oh.
And of course, he stutters.
Oh, naturally.
We'll meet you there.
There you are. I've been getting some very strange looks on this train.
Jason, you look perfect.
Sure I haven't gone too far?
Not at all. Well, perhaps a little outdoor. Howard's an indoor type. You're too healthy. But you've been so good, I've got a present for you.
What is it?
Page 1 of your script. Just remember, there are 207 more.
Here he is.
Sit down, Jason. I'll go to work. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes?
Well, I'm not entirely unsophisticated, and
I adore Englishmen.
It's very kind of you, I'm sure.
I think it's the accent. I turn on instantly.
Turn on?
I just can't help it.
Oh, well, I'm really most appreciative, and I'm very
Don't you like me?
My gracious. No, I think you're really very lovely. And in every way, I would like to... Do you mind not doing that with your pendant?
The photon power of your brainwaves is dropping to nothing, Mr. Howard. You shiver because the temperature of your skin is falling. Do not be alarmed. Just relax. You are now antidromic, completely under the domination of my psychic power center. Lean back, Mr. Howard. Close your eyes. Go to sleep.
Any problems?
None. Your turn. I think we can safely leave Jason on his own, can't we, dear? Come on. Mr. Howard, how do you pay Lord Barnes?
With this.
A check.
A draft on the Bank of England for £50,000.
It is a shame that we have to let that go.
Darling, it's payable to Lord Barnes. Let's not be greedy. Anything else?
This.
A letter of certification.
Jason can get Lord Barnes to sign that.
This business of shipping the missile back to London.
In an attaché case via Swiss Air.
No security arrangements of any kind.
Only handcuffs. They're in there.
These?
Yes.
The key? Mr. Howard, when are you due back at the museum?
The day after tomorrow.
I'll take him back to London tonight.
Must you?
I daren't bring him round, and I can't control him unless I'm with him. He could get lost or hurt or anything.
We wouldn't want that.
No, such a sweet little man. You and Jason go on to Montreux alone. I'll get off at Vevey with Mr. Howard and take him back to London tonight.
You can stay at my place.
Fine. I'll meet you in Paris late tomorrow with the missile.
I'll have it. Don't worry.
Ah, we're coming into Vevey now.
Yes.
Be careful, Elaine. Make sure Jason doesn't try anything funny with Lord Barnes. Up you get, Mr. Howard.